Hi, my name is Michael Dell. I'm a Ganawagi Rono living with special needs. When I was interviewed, I had an idea for a show for people from Ganawagi living with disabilities. Today is the start of that show, Walk in My World. Often, people with disabilities lead sheltered lives, and their interactions are limited to caregivers and family members. I hope this show will bring you awareness of these people, their families, their lives, and their dreams for the future. Okay, today we are here at Cadre Hospital to interview Dale Beauchamp. The topic is about Alzheimer's disease. And Dale, before we start, maybe you can explain your position here at Cadre Hospital.
Okay, so I've been at Cattery for 8 years as of October. I work in the social service office with Cindy Boyer, our social worker at Cattery Hospital. My position here is more of like caseworker. I am also a liaison for home and community care and the resources here in Ganawage. So I help with discharge planning when our patients come in for short-term care, and I work with our day center clientele as well.
Being a social worker, you must come across all time Alzheimer's disease.
Yes, we do. In fact, there is a lot of information that we do obtain from the Alzheimer's Society to pass to our clientele here at the hospital. We get a lot of pamphlets, booklets, things like that. There's also two other people that are in my milieu, which is Cindy Boyer and Jean O'Connor. Cindy Boyer came on to Cattery about 4 years ago, and she wanted to head up some information regarding support groups and things like that with the Alzheimer's. So she decided to contact the Alzheimer's Society and see how we can obtain services here in Ganawage. So it started from there.
What's the difference between regular aging and Alzheimer's disease?
For me personally, regular aging is just our body's getting older. It's a regular process that everybody goes through. And the Alzheimer's disease is it's a disease that attacks our brain. So it's a kind of degenerative disease, and it causes plaques on the brain. So it kind of attacks our brain and covers it with plaque, and it clouds it. Whereas a dementia is more of like a syndrome, and it causes memory lapses and behavior changes, as does Alzheimer, but the Alzheimer's is like, I guess, more of a physical type of occurrence that happens with the brain.
What are the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease?
So some of the symptoms that one might notice is, as I've said to you a little bit earlier, people often think that forgetting keys in the doorway, or forgetting their purse at home or on a chair, or misplacing their clothing is not some, it doesn't mean that you're suffering from Alzheimer's disease. What you have to kind of worry about is if you find your keys in the oven or your purse in a freezer, the refrigerator. Those are the types of things that you would have to start thinking, oh, there's something wrong here. What's going on with me?
Are people aware that they have Alzheimer's disease?
A lot of clientele that I've come across or had to work with often say that they've not known that they had Alzheimer's, but they suspected that something was happening with their memory. And people often start to worry, like I said, when they start forgetting names or places. Again, what you have to worry about is if the names don't come back to your memory, or you're traveling on the road driving and you completely forget where you're going. Those are the types of things that you would have to start questioning yourself about.
So, when, for example, when they go to the bank too many times in the same week, uh, maybe that could be a sign of Alzheimer's disease for some people.
It's definitely a sign that there's something possibly going on with them.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is that they would go to their doctor and speak with them about what they've been experiencing. That would be the first thing that you would have to do.
Okay.
It's a good idea to, if you're starting to suspect something's going on with you, go to see your doctor, make an appointment, and see if you can get a diagnosis. And if the diagnosis is that you have Alzheimer's disease, then there's things that you can do to prepare yourself. Getting a diagnosis is, you can call up any Alzheimer's Society. There's information on the website. We have pamphlets here at Cattery Hospital. You can call there yourself. It's a toll-free number, and ask them different questions. They're really the experts in regards to Alzheimer's disease. And they would probably do the same thing as direct you to your doctor and go for testing.
So when you go to your doctor, he or she can, there's a specific protocol that they follow to determine if you have Alzheimer's disease?
I don't know if it's a specific protocol, but some people that have come here to Cattery Hospital or outside do go to memory clinics. There's some memory clinics in Montreal that they can go to, and they have specific tests that they can do. There isn't anything that we can, there isn't a specific test or way of diagnosing Alzheimer's disease that's known right now. So there's like a lot of mini mental tests. There's a MOCA test. And like I said, you can go to the memory clinic, or your doctor would send you there himself. If he does a test with you in the office and he thinks your scoring is a little below normal, then he would probably refer you out to a memory clinic like at the Jewish and get a proper
Okay, so
diagnosis.
it's not as simple as coming here and maybe seeing occupational therapists, and maybe they can do some tests.
Yeah, the occupational therapist as well can perform these type of mini mental tests and do some scoring that way, and kind of well, not kind of, but give the information back to your doctor and recommend to you, that these are the normal scores, these are the scores that you have, and maybe we need to look into in sending you somewhere specific to get a memory to the memory clinic. So there's no blood test or anything that can be done in terms like that for medically speaking to determine if you have Alzheimer's disease.
In general, what are the impact on families that you've seen in Ganawage?
So once a diagnosis has been given, there's things that can be set up for families and for the patient to prepare themselves. And as I said, you can contact the Alzheimer's Society. They can help you tremendously in that respect. But some of the things that what you can do is speak with your doctor. They have the information as well. Speak with the social worker. They can help you with resources in the community, maybe preparing a home. If once the disease is advanced, then there's other things that you might have to do for your home. Remove some rugs and maybe install certain equipment at the door, so that if people start wandering when they get older, there's something that's attached to the door, so the caregivers can hear if the loved one is getting up at night. And there's a checklist also that I have here at the hospital that people can come and get from me and go through the checklist and kind of not diagnose their own loved one or their own caregiving, but keep in check as to certain things that might be causing more stress on the loved one or causing them more stress. And that's when we'd have to look into getting you more resources at home to help you at home with the loved one.
Is one of the resources maybe coming to the day center if the caregiver feels that she needs a break?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Michael. We do have the day center here at Cattery Hospital. We also have a center, an activity center at the Elders Lodge. And the Elders Lodge is run by Darlene Alfred under Home and Community Care, and she brings in clientele from the community who are at home isolated or want to socialize. She brings them there. Here at Cattery Hospital, the day center is geared for people with Alzheimer's dementia who need a little bit more special attention. in regards that we do have a nurse on staff. They're in a facility, they're in the hospital, there are doctors here, and trained staff to help with bringing people maybe to the bathroom, or helping them with setups with their food and things like that. So our day center is one of the resources that can be utilized here in Ganawage for caregiver burn.
And if they need a little more break, then they send they can come for respite care.
Respite care is brought to the attention of their doctor. Their doctor would send a referral to my attention here at Cattery Hospital. I would bring that information up to our multidisciplinary team that we meet once a week. We talk about our clientele here at Cattery Hospital and how we can help them stay at home, or if they need to come in for short-term care or long-term care at Cattery Hospital. So there's a team set up and we meet weekly. And for respite, that is one of the options that we have here at Cattery. And that would be determined by the doctor, of course, if the caregiver does need a little bit of a break. They're able to come here at least up to, I believe, 5 to 6 times out of the year, and it's a weekly basis. So they can have up to 6 weeks respite for the year.
Let's say, just say for instance, the person that has Alzheimer's, they don't want to come here, but their caregiver knows that they need a break still. Then how do you get around that?
We don't get around it. We try to work with the families and with the client, and slowly integrate the client into the hospital. So what we started to do here at Cattery is sometimes maybe have them come in for half a day at the day center, get them familiar with the environment, have lunch with the day center with some of our staff here. They are accompanied by a family member. A loved one would come in with them, and try and integrate them into the facility that way. However, it doesn't always work. Everybody has rights, and if the caregiver feels that they are really stressed out and they do need a break, we try and help with getting other family members involved. It works very well when you have a large family. Unfortunately, when there's only one child or no children, that's where we kind of run into problems. But generally, Ganawage is a wonderful community. There's a lot of care out there, and we do have a lot of families that do help each other when it comes in time of need to have some caregiver relief.
Yeah. What are the different stages of Alzheimer's?
There's an early stage, there's a middle to moderate stage, and then there's the late stage and end stage of Alzheimer's disease. So early on is the first steps. People would get their diagnosis. It's a good idea to put paperwork in place with family members regarding finances, getting your wills done, getting all your life in order in paperwork-wise, legal-wise. That's one of the first things that can be done. Once we get into the moderate and middle stages, that's when people start to kind of forget more. Either, it depends, people are different, so sometimes they're more tired, or their behavior changes, their moods change. So it gets difficult for the caregivers to try and care for their loved one. And once they get to the advanced stages, that's a whole other dimension, and that's when the body functions start to shut down. The memory's not, the brain is not working as well as it was, and that's where we can look into possible hospitalization at that time, because it is a lot of work for caregivers.
When they are at home, do they lose their autonomy right away, or it happens in stages?
Again, it does happen in stages. You're quite aware of things in the early stages. It's scary for people diagnosed with Alzheimer's to know in advance that they're going to be losing their autonomy, they're going to be losing the ability to drive, to take care of themselves, to bathe, to do their own shopping, to do their own banking. So all these things come at a loss, and it is scary. So we often recommend having support put in right away for the person. Maybe a social worker can be brought on board and help them through this process.
What are some of the real dangers for someone with Alzheimer's?
A lot of the dangers that I'm quite aware of in working here is the wandering part. Once people have advanced to the moderate to more severe stages of Alzheimer's, some of the people start wandering around. They're confused. They're in a different world, meaning that they could be younger in their minds and not recognizing their caregiver for who they are. It could be a wife or a husband, but because they have Alzheimer's and they're probably set back in when they were 8 or 9 or 10, they're looking for their mom, or they're looking for their own home, and they don't recognize things in their home. So that's when behaviors might change. They might become aggressive. There's also the sundowners, where it's a reversal. So they're up all night and they're sleeping all day. And then, of course, the wandering, that's another danger. You know, if you're exhausted, you're a caregiver and you're tired and you fall asleep and your loved one is wandering, they could wander out into the streets, get lost. And, those are the scary things, more scary things that can happen.
That happens. We hope somebody looks out for one another.
Mm-hmm.
How long can a person live with Alzheimer's?
Well, of course, that would depend on people's their physical being as well. I'm not quite sure how long people can live.
Let's say that this person that we're talking about in general is their mom or their dad, but they're 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 only about 8 or 9. How can you sensitize the rest of the family to say, mom or dad has Alzheimer's disease? What role can the younger member of the family play?
Excellent question. What I would think is, again, right from the beginning, if the person has been diagnosed early on, get the family on board right away. Even if they are younger, teens, that's one of the things that people do, is try and hide it or cover it up. They don't want people to know that they're going to be losing autonomy and have to rely on people or depend on people. So if we can kind of cut that part away from things and open it up and allow people to speak about it and bring people, their loved ones into it right from the beginning, I think that would help tremendously. And there's a lot of information, as I said, that we have here at Cattery Hospital that we could give to families. And like I said before, getting support put in place immediately and helping families go through it. Nobody's alone, so that's what we're here for, to help everybody get informed and help them out as best that we can.
Let's go back to the support. What kind of supports are here at Cattery Hospital for somebody that's been diagnosed but now needs that next step?
So once somebody has been diagnosed, they have their MD, of course, their doctors here at Cattery Hospital. We have resources in the community, which is home and community care. So if they do require personal care at home, we have home health aides. There's home care nursing. Tracy Johnson is our home care nurse manager right now, so she's a good contact. We also have, like I said, the Alzheimer's Society that you can call yourself. They're very willing to come into your home and talk to you and help your family and explain things to the family. There's the caseworkers as well for our elderly at the home and community care. Jean O'Connor and Cecilia Phillips, they can come into the home as well and help out in organizing, things for your patient, for the client and for the family. Again, we have the day centers in Kahnawake. We have respite in Kahnawake. What we did have, what we did, like I said before earlier, with the initiative of bringing the Alzheimer's Society into Kahnawake, we had organized some support groups. So we had some information booths set up in Kahnawake about 2 years ago. Just generally getting people, handing the information out to people here in the lobby and at community KSCS. From there, we did a campaign for information sessions at the Turtle Bay Elders Lodge. So we opened that up to the community, where we had the executive director from the Alzheimer's Society, Sotowa, come in and then do some information sessions, just generally sitting there with a group of people, answering questions, having like a little mini panel, like a forum for them to ask their questions and get some of their answers. There was a lot of medication questions, things like that. And from there, from that group, we asked, who would be interested in having, coming to a support group. So we organized a support group, which was held bi-weekly here at Cattery Hospital in the evening, the months from October to December was the first session. And then again, we ran after the holidays, so February, March to May, June. So we did that for 2 years. Unfortunately, the executive director from the Alzheimer's Society, Sotowa, has recently resigned. So we were hoping to get some more support groups running in October, but she has resigned. So we have to get to meet the new director there and start that focus group again. So it was very informative. We had guest speakers come in and talk to the clientele about long-term care, the resources in Ganawage. We had legal information given, because of course Alzheimer's Society Sowa doesn't know how things work here in Ganawage.
Yeah.
So we had information brought in for her for that, so we had a lot of good support in that area. But however, like I said, we don't have it up and running right now, but we're looking forward to hopefully next year, February, March, getting something up and running again for our community, because it is needed. And we did have a very, very good turnout with each group.
At this time, is there a cure for Alzheimer's disease?
There's no known cure that I'm aware of at this time, but there is research being done all the time. The Alzheimer's Society does get donations from all over, and they help with resources to put into the community, but they also have money going for research. So right now there is no cure, but there's a lot of interesting research that's going on. I just read something from the Jewish General that they just put out, I think last week or the week before, that there's something, they found something in the body, some chemical in the body or something like that, that might be kind of a cause of getting Alzheimer's disease. So there's a lot of interesting research out there. You can go on the website, on any website, and look up all kinds of information. But right now there is no known cure.
What are some of the treatments for Alzheimer's disease?
Treatment options we have here, we have a pamphlet from the Alzheimer's Society. So some of the treatment options, of course, are medication. And as it says here, there are several medications available that can help with symptoms, but it's not that it's going to halt the disease. It might slow things down a bit, but it doesn't stop the disease from progressing.
Research says that it's growing quite a bit every year. What can we do as a community, as well as a hospital, to prepare for it?
Again, one of the things that we can do is stay healthy, keep our brains active. Healthy eating, healthy lifestyle is always the number one rule of thumb for keeping ourselves physically fit and mentally fit. Staying positive, eating the right foods, of course. Diabetes is another issue that's growing in Ganawage. And they say that also plays a part with Alzheimer's disease. If we don't have a healthy diet, then our brains are not going to be healthy. As for the Alzheimer's disease growing in the population, yes, it's true. It's 1 in 5, I believe. That's what the research says. 1 in 5 people will be diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and it is growing. So that number will probably shrink to possibly 1 in 3. But I'm optimistic that we're doing good research and things will be found for our future. So if we could just maintain our health and our spirits, I think that's one of the first things that we should be doing for ourselves. For anybody in the community, we have the information here in Cattery Hospital. We have pamphlets to give out right from what Alzheimer's disease is right down to reducing caregiver stress. So we have a number of a lot of information that we can pass out to you. I can be reached here at Catteray Hospital at 450-638-3930. My extension is 267. My colleague Cindy Boyer is also available at the same number, 450-638-3930, extension 235. And our other colleague at Home and Community Care is Jean O'Connor. She can be reached at 450-632-5499.
So we've come to the end of another episode of Walking My World. Thank you very much, Dale, for joining us and bringing light to this topic.
You're very welcome, Michael. Thank you for having me.
You're watching Gahnawage's Mohawk TV on Local Channel 4, local television covering all aspects of community life. Nyawagoa, Zewaderorege.